Othello, Act 1, Scene 3.
Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the general enemy Ottoman. I did not see you. Welcome, gentle signor. We left your counsel and your help tonight.
So did I yours. Good your grace, pardon me. Neither my place nor aught I heard of business had raised me from my bed, nor doth the general care take hold on me. For my particular grief is of so floodgate and overbearing nature that it engluts and swallows other sorrows, and it is still itself.
What's the matter?
My daughter, oh, my daughter!
Dead?
Aye, to me. She is abused, stolen from me, and corrupted by spells and medicines wrought of mountebanks, where nature is so preposterously to err, being not deficient, blind, or lame of sense, sans witchcraft could not.
Where he be that in this foul proceeding hath thus beguiled your daughter of herself, and you of her, the bloody book of law you shall yourself read in the bitter letter. After your own sin, yea, though our proper son stood in your action.
Humbly I thank your grace. Here is the man, this Moor, whom now it seems your special mandate with the state affairs hath hither brought.
We are very sorry for it.
What in your own part can you say to this?
Nothing, but it is so.
Most potent, great, and revered signors, my very noble and approved good masters, that I have ta'en away this old man's daughter. It is most true. True, I have married her. The very head in front of my offending hath this extent, no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrase of peace. For since these arms of mine have 7 years' pith, till now some mine moons wasted, they have used their deceased action in the tented field. In lieu of this great world, can I speak more than pertains to feats of broils and battles? And therefore little shall I grace my cause in speaking for myself. Yet, by your gracious patience, I will around unvarnished tale deliver of my whole course of love. What drugs, what charms, what conjurations, what mighty magic! I won his daughter.
A maiden never bold, of spirit so still and quiet, that her motion blushed at herself, and she, in spite of nature, of years of country, credit, everything, to fall in love with what she feared to look on. It is a judgment, maimed and most imperfect, that will confess perfection, so could err against all rules of nature, and must be driven to find out practices of cunning hell why this should be. I therefore vouch again that with some mixtures powerful over the blood, or with some dram conjured to this effect, he wrought upon her.
To vouch this is no proof, without more wider and more over test, than these thin habits and poor likelihoods of modern seeming do prefer against him.
But Othello, speak. Did you by indirect and forced courses subdue and poison this young maid's affections? Or came it by request, and such fair question as soul to soul affordeth?
I do beseech you, send for the lady of secretary, and let her speak of me before her father. If you do find me foul in her report, the trust, the office I do hold of you, not only take away, but let your sentence even fall upon my life.
Fetch Desdemona hither.
Ancient, conduct them. You best know the place.
Iago and attendants exit.
Until she come, as truly as to heaven, I do confess the vices of my blood. So justified to your grave ears, I'll present how I did thrive in this fair lady's love, and she in mine.
Say it, Othello.
Her father loved me, oft invited me, still questioned me the story of my life. From year to year, the battles, sieges, fortunes that I have passed, I ran it through, even from my boyish days to the very moment that he bade me to tell it, where I spoke of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flooded field, of hazardous escapes, the imminent deadly breach, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery, of my redemption thence, importance in my traveler's history, wherein of entrees vast and deserts idle, wharf quarries, rocks, and hills whose heads touch heaven. It was my hint to speak. Such was my process, and of the cannibals that each other eat, and the men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders. These things to hear. Will this domino seriously incline? But still the house affairs will draw her thence. Whichever as she could with haste dispatch, she'd come again, with the greedy ear devour up by my discord, which I, observing, took once a pliant hour. It found good means to draw from her a prayer of earnest heart, that I will on my pilgrimage delayed, whereof by parcels she has something heard, but not intensively. I did not consent, and often did beguile her eyes or her tears. When I did speak of some distressful stroke that my youth suffered, my story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore in faith, 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 'twas painful, 'twas wondrous, pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me and bade me, if I had a friend that loved her, I should but teach him how to tell my story, and that will woo her. Upon this hint I spoke. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady. Let her witness it.
Enter Desdemona, Iago, and attendants.
I think this tale would win my daughter too. Good Brabantio, take up this mangled manner at the best. Men do their broken weapons rather use than their bare hands.
I pray you hear her speak. If she confessed that she was half the wooer, destruction on my head, if my bad blame light on the man. Come hither, gentle mistress. Do you perceive in all this noble company where most you owe obedience?
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the lord of duty. I am hitherto your daughter. But here's my husband, and so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father, so much I challenge that I may profess duty to my lord.
God be with you. I have done. Please it your grace on to the state affairs. I'd rather to adopt a child than get it. Come hither, Moor. I here do give thee that with all my heart, which what thou hast already, with all my heart I would keep from thee. For your sake, jewel, I'm glad at soul I have no other child, for thy escape would teach me tyranny to hang clogs on them. I have done, my lord.
Let me speak like yourself and lay a sentence, which as a grice or step may help these lovers into your favor. When remedies are passed the griefs are ended, by seeing the worst which late on hopes depended. To mourn a mischief that is past and gone is the next way to draw new mischief on. We cannot be preserved when fortune takes patience her injury a mockery makes. The robbed that smiles steals something from the thief. He robs himself that spends a bootless grief.
So let the Turk of Cyprus us beguile. We lose it not so long as we can smile. He bears the sentence well that nothing bears, but the free comfort which from thence he hears. But he bears both the sentence and the sorrow that, to pay grief, must of poor patience borrow. These sentences, to sugar or to gall, being strong on both sides, are equivocal. But words are words. I never yet did hear that the bruised heart was pierced through the ear. I humbly beseech you, proceed to the affairs of state.
The Turk with a most mighty preparation makes for Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of the place is best known to you. And though we have there a substitute of most allowed sufficiency, yet opinion, a sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you. You must therefore be content to slubber the gloss of your new fortunes with this more stubborn and boisterous expedition.
The tyrant custom, most grave senators, hath made the filthy and steel couch of war my thrice-driven bed of down. I do agonize a natural and prompt alacrity. I find a hardness, and do undertake this present wars against the Amidities. Most humbly, therefore, bending of your state, I crave fit disposition for my wife, due reference of place and exhibition, with such accommodations and besort as levels with her breeding.
Why, that her father's.
I'll not have it so.
Nor I.
Nor would I there reside to put my father in impatient thoughts by being in his eye. Most gracious Duke, to my unfolding lend your prosperous ear, and let me find a charter in your voice to assist my simpleness.
What would you, Desdemona?
That I love the more to live with him, my downright violence and storm of fortunes may trumpet to the world. My heart subdued even to the very quality of my lord. I saw Othello's visage in his mind, and to his honors and his valiant parts did I my soul and fortunes consecrate. So that, dear lords, if I be left behind, a moth of peace, and he go to the war, the rights for why I love him are bereft me, and I a heavy interim shall support by his dear absence. Let me go with him.
Let her have your voice. Vouch with me, heaven, I therefore beg it not, to please the palate of my appetite, nor to comply with heat and proper satisfaction, but to be free and boundless to her mind. And heaven defend your good soul. Heaven defend your good soul that you think I will your serious and great business scant, for she is with me. No, when light winged toys of feather Cupid seal with wet and dullness my speculative and offered instruments, that my discourse corrupt and taint my business. Let housewives make a skillet of my helm, and I'll die in base adversities, make head against my estimation.
Be it as you shall privately determine, either for her to stay or going. The affair cries haste, and speed must answer it.
You must away tonight.
With all my heart.
At 9 a.m. here we'll meet again. Othello leaves some officer behind, and he shall our commission bring to you, with such things else of quality and respect as doth import you.
So please your grace, my ancient, a man he is of honesty and trust, To his conveyance I assign my wife, with what else needful your good grace shall think to be sent after me.
Good night, let it be so. Good night to everyone. And noble Signor, if virtue no delight in beauty lack, your son-in-law is far more fair than black.
Adieu, brave Moor. Use Desdemona well.
Look to her more. If thou hast eyes to see, she has deceived her father, and may thee.
He exits.
My life upon her faith.
The Duke, the senators, Cassio, and officers exit.
Honest Iago, my Desdemona must I leave her to thee. I pray let thy wife attend on her, and bring them after the best advantage. Come, Desdemona, I have but an hour of love, of worldly matters, of direction to spend with thee. We must obey the time.
Othello and Desdemona exit.
Iago,
What sayst thou, noble heart?
what will I do, thinkst thou?
Why, go to bed and sleep.
I will incontinently drown myself.
If thou dost, I shall never love thee after. Thou silly gentleman.
It is silliness to live when life is torment, and then we have a prescription to die when death is our physician.
Oh, villainous. I have looked upon the world for 4 times 7 years, and since I could distinguish betwixt benefit and an injury, I never found a man that knew how to love himself. Ere I would say I would drown myself for the love of a guinea hen, I would change my humanity with a baboon.
What should I do? I confess it is my shame to be so fond, but it's not in my virtue to amend it.
Virtue? Fig. 'Tis in ourselves that we are thus or thus. Our bodies are gardens to which our wills are gardeners, so that if we will plant nettles or sow lettuce, set hyssop and weed up thyme, supply it with one gender, or herbs distract it with many, either to have it sterile with idleness or manured with industry. Why, the power and corrigible authority of this lies in our wills. If the balance of our lives had not one scale of reason poised another of sensuality, the blood and baseness of our natures would conduct us to the most preposterous conclusions. But we have reason to cool our raging motions, our carnal stings, and our unbidden lusts, whereof I take this that you call love to be a sex for sire.
It cannot be.
It's merely a lust of the blood and a permission of the will. Come, be a man. Drown thyself? Drown cats and blind puppies. I have professed thee, my friend, and I confess me knit to thy deserving with cables of perdurable toughness. I could never better stead thee than now. Put money in thy purse. Follow thou the wars, defeat thy favor with a usurped beard, I say, put money in thy purse. It cannot be that Desdemona should long continue her love some more. Put money in thy purse. Nor he his to her. It was a violent commencement in her, and thou shalt see an answerable sequestration. Put money in thy purse. These Moors are changeable in their wills. Fill thy purse with money, for the food that to him now is as luscious as locust shall be to him shortly as bitter as coloquintida. She must change for youth. When she is sated with his body, she will find the error of her choice. Therefore, put money in thy purse. If thou wilt needs damn thyself, do it a more delicate way than drowning. Make all the money thou canst. If sanctimony and a frail vow betwixt an erring barbarian and a supersubtle Venetian be not too hard for my wits and all the tribe of hell, thou shalt enjoy her. Therefore, make money. Talks of drowning thyself, it's clean out of the way. Seek rather to be hanged, encompassing thy joy, than to be drowned and go without her.
Wilt thou be fast to my hopes if I depend upon the issue?
Thou art sure of me. Go, make money. I've told thee often, and I retell thee again and again. I hate the Moor. My cause is hearted. Thine hath no less reason. Let us be conjunctive in our revenge against him. If thou canst cuckold him, thou dost thyself a pleasure, and me a sport. There are many events in the womb of time which will be delivered. Traverse, go, provide thy money. We will have more of this tomorrow. Adieu.
Where shall we meet in the morning?
At my lodging.
I'll be there with the betimes.
Go to, farewell. Do you hear, Roderigo?
What say you?
No more of drowning, do you hear?
I am changed.
Go to, farewell. Put money enough in your purse.
I'll sell all my land.
He exits.
Thus do I ever make my fool my purse. For I mine own gain knowledge should profane if I would time expend with such a snipe, but for my sport and profit. I hate the more, and it is thought abroad that twixt my sheets done my office. You not if be true, but I for mere suspicion in that kind will do as if for surety. He holds me well, the better shall my purpose work on him. Cassio's a proper man, let me see now, to get his place and to plume up my will in double knavery. Oh. Let's see. After some time to abuse Othello's ear that he is too familiar with his wife. He hath a person and a smooth disposed to be suspected. Fright to make woman false. The Moor is of a free and open nature that thinks men honest when they but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are. I have it. It's engendered. Hell and night must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light.
He exits.